Alright, like, click, subscribe, do all that. You already know what time it is. It's Netflix time. This movie is called Miracle in Cell Number 7. Separated from his daughter, a father with an intellectual disability must prove his innocence when he is jailed for the death of a commander's child. It's a Turkish movie that came out in 2019. It's 2 hours and 12 minutes long. I ain't gonna lie, this movie damn near had me in tears, yo. It's just... Spoiler alert, let's get it. It starts off with this lady looking like she's about to get married or something. She's not really saying anything, she's listening to the news. So this is in 2004, and it was talking about the death sentence finally being lifted in Turkey. Next thing we see is her opening this box. Not really sure what it represents. Then we get to this girl named Ova. She's in school. This is back in like 1983. And there's a school teacher, Linda, giving her a ribbon. And here we have Mimo picking up his daughter from school. Now Mimo is Ova's real father. They go past the store and Ova wants this book bag, but it costs too much at the time. The guy's willing to give him a discount, but Mimo's like, nah, I'm gonna wait till I come back with the money. He wants to do things right. He's gonna sell apples at the carnival tomorrow so he can come with enough money so he can get her the book bag. He's also a sheep herder somewhat. Both of them also live with their grandma. Now her mom apparently passed away a while ago. They never give the reasons why though. But Ova has a good concept on the scale of life and death. Yeah, she's a very smart kid. At night they're reading books together. So in the description I said earlier, Mimo has a brain deficiency. Like he's in his 30s, but his mind is the set of like a 6-year-old. But he can still semi-function like a regular human being. Now you got these soldiers here, they're setting up for a parade for the city. But this one soldier happened to sneak off on his own and disappears into the woods. I'll explain him in a minute. Meanwhile at the fair, Ova's marching with the rest of the band. Mimo's selling his apples. He's just enjoying himself and the officer's like, hey man, just don't get in the way. We got this guy still running through the forest. Where's he running off to? So Mimo had enough money to buy the backpack. Unfortunately, the general and his daughter beat him to it. He said, I got the money right here, but the general wasn't having none of it. He gets a little too handsy and the general smacks him to the ground. I don't know if he wasn't aware of his condition, or he was just trying to protect his daughter, or just the fact he just didn't care. He gets back home, grandma checks on him, everything's all good. Next day, the general and family and all the kids are having a cookout. The kids are just playing while Mimo's herding the sheep. They all crowd around Mimo and start playing with him. But then Mimo notices the general's daughter and she's got the backpack on. So she's like, you still want this backpack? You gotta come get it. So she's making him chase her up the mountain. You see how these rocks are set up, right? Ain't nothing good coming from this shit. He's trying to tell her to come back, it's not safe. Then she slips off the rocks, bashing her head against one of the rocks and falling in the water. Holy shit. After a while, all the kids came back except for the daughter, so they went around looking for her. And the first thing they saw was Mimo in the water with her. So automatically, he's prime suspect number 1. So you know the general was ready to kill this motherfucker. The troops take him to a torture room and they beat the shit out of him. And then they make him confess to actually doing it by putting his thumbprint on the paper. They show it to the general, and he's about to go in there personally. Ain't nothing good coming Nemo's way, I can promise you that. Grandma and Ova been out all night long trying to see Mimo, but the general instructed the soldiers to say ain't nobody seeing Mimo right now. Not even his immediate family, as they get him in a truck about to take him to real jail. I know, Ova, this shit is fucked up. Before they drove off, Mimo kept yelling out the car about a one-eyed monster. So what is the one-eyed monster as we get a flashback? The one-eyed monster was this building that he always kept going to go see a while ago. Now you see that hole in the building? Remember that one officer that kept talking about was going rogue and he ran off the side? Well, that one officer was hiding in the hole and he saw the whole thing go down. So yes, that guy is literally his only witness. He buries his uniform and his gun in between the rocks. Why does he do this? You'll see. Mimo's about to share a jail cell with these niggas for him here for random numerous crimes. But before they even get there, the warden wants to personally see him himself. Yeah, he's all fucked up. The warden tells her one time, like, look, if you even breathe the wrong way, I'll kill you myself. Talk about singling somebody out. So they're changing clothes, and you see this guy with the yellow shirt, he actually tries to help him out, you know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, back at the spot, Ova finds the guy. She asks him, are you gonna help my dad? He's like, I do what I can, I saw the whole thing. She goes to give him some food and tells him to stay right there. Meanwhile, Mimo's about to get set up in his room. He gets himself all set up and stuff. And then this prison guard tells him what he's in there for. I'm like, oh, that is fucked up, yo. You know, ain't no good coming from that. Meanwhile, Ova brings a grandmother up there so he can meet the witness, but that nigga dipped out. Where's he going? Who knows? Is he on the run or something? Meanwhile, they got Mimo tied up in the jail. You already know what's about to happen. He got stomped all the way the fuck out. They eventually got him to the infirmary. At this point, he was just lucky to even be alive. General got the information and was pissed off. He's like, I'm gonna have Mimo on the noose when it's time, but until then, don't nobody touch him. This guy right here, for some reason, always keeps looking at the spot on the wall and it reminds him of a tree. This symbolism there, I'll get to it. So anyway, the guards are pissed off. They're like, hey, don't nobody put a motherfucking hand on Mimo again. Because if you do, I'll make sure none of y'all niggas get out. 10 days go by, Ova is still just sitting there waiting at the spot. She don't even go to school no more. She just sits there waiting for the witness to come back. My man looks at the spot on the wall again, and it reminds him of this tree. Like I said, you'll get the story soon. So at this point, they're trying to get along with him because they assume he just doesn't know any better. And they're kind of confused about, like, how can a man that could kill a child be so nice to a bird? He's in there playing with grasshoppers, killing time. But as more days go by, he gets sad because they won't allow him to see his daughter over. Meanwhile, back at the spot, the teacher's worried about her because she hasn't been coming to school. She's waiting on that eyewitness to come back, but the teacher doesn't even believe that. I mean, she goes along with it, but nobody's seen him, so, you know. She's the only one that's seen him. The trial comes along, they found him guilty, they sentence him to death. Yeah, man, it's messed up. And he hasn't even really grasped the concept of what just took place. They line up to try to see him, but once again, they still get denied. The teacher's like, enough of this shit, I got a letter from the warden. The warden pops up, he says he didn't even know that Nemo even had a kid. But she disappeared and started banging on the outside walls of the jail, yelling for him. He hears her banging on the other side. Then because he's causing commotion and all that, they take him back to his cell. Damn, I'm really hoping they find that eyewitness at this point. Now, because of everything that's going on, the rest of the prisoners have a little bit more sympathy to his cause. He's getting a death sentence and they're pissed off for him. It's like, damn, can you at least let him see his child? That's a fly-ass feast for niggas supposed to be locked up, though. Well, anyway, he starts to bond with the crew. Well, this guy that got help getting a ukulele in the gym, the one that was actually helping out Mimo, turns out he had a knife in that shit too. And he was sent to kill this nigga. Mimo wanting to use the bathroom, jumps in the way and saves his life, and got stabbed in the process. So if he ain't earned his trust before, he definitely did now. So they put his ass in lockup. And they're starting to be convinced that all the nice things that Mimo does, it's like, there's no way he could have killed a child. He thinking to themselves like, man, he must have been framed or something. So he's got some guys on the outside. I'm not exactly sure what they're planning. Probably about to get the niggas that was trying to do him in. Never mind, I remember this part, my bad. He's gonna use them to sneak over into jail so he can see Mimo himself. But they gotta pick up his baby mother so you know it could look legit. So they get to the jail, and so as one of the guards is about to deliver tea, she's actually hiding on the cart. And they actually sneak her in the jail cell. And Mimo finally gets to see his daughter. She goes around asking everybody about their stories. They give individual stories and whatnot. Then she asks that guy that looks towards the spot in the wall that's always looking reminiscent about a tree. He says it represents people lying to him and his daughter's wedding day. We'll dive more into that in a minute. Meanwhile, Grandma's at home having a stroke after she read some letter from Ova. Aw, damn. More bonding time with the crew. Warren gets a phone call. This ain't good. He gets word about Ova missing. You already know. He's like, y'all move out the way. Y'all ain't gonna tell me shit. Mimo, where's your daughter? And he tells him because he don't know. Yeah, that shit is crazy. They're just cheesing like that shit all good and gravy. He tells the warden Ova seen a witness. I mean, at least if it's not true or it is true, investigate it, you know what I'm saying? The warden doesn't want to risk his job, but you can tell he wants to look into the matter. He's got a heart, and at the same time, he knows how the general feel about this whole situation. So he at least gets to spend a little bit more time with his daughter. And once he leaves, the warden's like, hey, you really seen a witness? She's like, yeah. The question is, how they gonna find him? Back at the house, the teacher's gotta break some bad news to Ova. Yeah, Ova, your grandma died, man. So her mom's gone, her grandma just died, and her dad's about to get fucking executed, yo. You know he's gotta look at this shit like, god damn, like what can I do, yo? So the warden that night actually goes up to the spot, finds a paper that says Mantor Yegan. Was that his name? I don't know. Well, anyway, he also found a uniform and a gun. He goes to the sergeant about this, he's like, look, man, if we do this, we gotta do this quiet. So back to his story. His story is he thinks he's going to hell because of the lies that were told or whatever. Bottom line is his daughter was supposed to be getting married. He ended up burning his daughter alive behind a tree. So that's the tree significance. I was like, wow. They didn't go in full depth with the story, but that shit is crazy. So right now, Ova is staying with a teacher, and she don't feel like doing shit, and honestly, I can't blame her. This guy makes a phone call. Who's he calling? I don't know. Main man, wife comes back, and he comes back with all the kids. He talks about doing things right this time and all that. Meanwhile, the teacher's in the warden's office, and she looks outside. They're already setting up the hangman shit. He tells her the general wants it to be on display because elections are coming up and all this other stuff, and they want to get it out the way before all that happens. So that's why they're hurrying it along, and obviously, they ain't got that much time left. They got to find a witness. As Mimo spending more time with Ova, Ova tells Mimo that the grandma died. Obviously, he breaks down, you know, Ova's gonna make sure he's good. Man, that shit hurts, yo. Then we finally get a bright spot. Guess who the military finds? The witness! Turns out the reason he dipped is because he's not even supposed to be in this part of the country. The general's like, send that nigga to me. So now it's just him and the general. He's like, tell me everything that you saw that day. But as he's telling him, oh, what the fuck? He just popped the only witness that can save Mimo, yo. These niggas say he tried to escape, so that's why he had to shoot him. He was already caught. How was he gonna escape? They all know that's complete and utter bullshit. He goes in to see his daughter one more time, along with the teacher and the warden, and he keeps looking outside at the noose, and he understands execution. He's no dummy. Yeah, it's completely fucked up. I'm thinking to myself, how the hell's he gonna get out of this? His only witness is gone. As he's saying goodbye to everybody, this is it. Everybody watches, and holy shit, it's done, yo. My head is all types of fucked up right now. We go to a scene where they're chilling at the teacher's house. Then they pull up probably to get the bad news. But he gives her this metal container. Why does that metal container look familiar? Well, anyway, 2 days earlier, they were planning something. I guess the plan almost went to the sergeant, too. He's got these two guys ready to pull off something. Apparently, he was saying goodbye, too. He tells him Allah be with him, too. Like, wait a minute. Oh, snap, that is the same case. That's his case that used to be his daughter's. He gives the warden the case so he could give it to Ova. Oh, shit, okay. All right, so we're at the part we're taking Mimo to death row again. Wait a minute, they put him in in another room. And out came dude. Oh shit, he's the one that's gonna be hung tonight. Damn. Well, they don't have a bag on his head. They're gonna know that's not Mimo, so how's the, you know what I mean? Well, apparently they were doing it quick before the general could even show up. Everybody else outside of it knew it was just a hanging. That's crazy, and they made sure to do the proper paperwork too. That's off the chain. So back in present time, that's where the case came from. And who pops up from behind the truck? Mimo. Yeah, you got the warden and the sergeant helping you? Yeah, it damn sure was a miracle. Now they all celebrating. I'm thinking to myself, the general gonna find out eventually, like, y'all gotta get the fuck out the country. And that's what they do. They send them away on boat. Justice served. Then it goes back to showing the bride again. So now we know that's over. And she still had the 10 all this time. Told you this movie was off the charts. So Ova, at least through that time, still got to live with her dad. And as crazy as it is, I can't really get too mad at the general. He wanted to blame somebody for his daughter's death, and Mimo just happened to be there. And he wasn't trying to let him go, reason why he killed the witness. You can understand both plights, but you wanted to see Mimo free. Miracle in Cell number 7. Check it out on Netflix. You already know what time it is. Slick DZ out the Heezy, Mr. Skizzy. Ha ha ha. Big. Could have got this slogan.